What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Mark Thompson back for another exciting episode of the AVO podcast. Look, this week, y'all know why I'm here, of course, sports as always, but man, I've been thinking a lot. That boy LeBron in year 16, something crazy. So you know I gotta spend some time and talk about LeBron. And you know, I was at the Link on Monday. I watched my Birds live against the Redskins. So I have to talk about my Philadelphia Eagles as we continue our playoff quest. So I'm going to start hoops first. I'm going to go with the boy LeBron. So LeBron in year 16 is playing outstanding basketball. Like, I'm shocked. From the beginning of the year, I always down the Lakers. I didn't feel like they had enough talent, but I forgot, when you add the best player in the world, you're guaranteed to get about 45 plus wins, and that's the way the Lakers are looking like it could be. Right now, LeBron's averaging about 28.4 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, shooting 53% from the field. That's outstanding. My man is 33 years old. 33 years old, and he's still putting up numbers like he's well into his prime. And the thing that's the craziest about this whole thing is he's playing less minutes than he's ever played so far. He's averaging about 34 minutes a game. So let's talk about efficiency here. When LeBron James is on the floor, you know what he's going to do. He's going to find the open man. He's going to grab the boards. He's going to score a bucket when you need it. Now, a crazy stat that I was looking at, as you hear every week, every month, LeBron is passing a great and scoring. But if you think about it, LeBron's not even technically a scorer. He's just an all-around player. So when it's all said and done, LeBron could possibly be number one in scoring, have over 10,000 rebounds, and have over 10,000 assists. Like, that's never been done before. And LeBron is definitely on the track to do it. Especially as much money as he spends on taking care of his body. I've heard this man spends over $1 million a year. $1 million a year on your body? Bro, look, just give me like 100,000. Let me take care of these student loans. That's it. But you talking about $1 million a year on your body? So you know things are different. Like, LeBron, he plays no games whatsoever. The Lakers are outstanding right now. I mean, they're 5th in the Western Conference. I mean, this is where I had them going if we're talking about playoff picture towards the end of the season, but I didn't really expect things to click and gel this fast. LeBron did express that he was having some frustrations with the Lakers' slow start and the team not gelling the way that he expected them to gel. Well, guess what? He didn't want to do it, but he did. He started taking over and just playing LeBron James basketball, and it's working for the Lakers. They're sitting 5th in the Western Conference, in the middle of the pack, which is completely outstanding. Also, not to mention, they're currently sitting on a 4-game win streak, which is one of the hottest teams in the Western Conference, and you wouldn't even believe it. And I kind of made up my own little ESPN stat. So, since November 17th, when LeBron shoots over 20 shots a game, he averages 38 points a game. Yo, come on, man. Do I have to mention, he's 33. You don't see this at 33. You see guys start to dip off and, you know, start doing farewell tours like Dwayne Wade and, you know, can barely get on the team. This hurts my heart to say it. Like my man Melo, but LeBron's showing interest, so Melo's going to be with the Lakers soon. I don't want him to go to the Lakers. I prefer him to be with my home team, the Sixers. But, hey, Melo will be on the Lakers soon. But to stick back on track with LeBron, one thing I did notice about his game from this year and last year are that his assists are very down. He averaged 9.1 last season, and as of right now, he's averaging 6.6. So, which isn't bad. I mean, he did mention that he did want to play off the ball. So you got Lonzo setting up the team. You got Rondo setting up the team as well, which gives LeBron more time off the ball. And as I mentioned earlier, you're getting 28 points a game from LeBron off 34 minutes. Like, talk about efficiency. Like, LeBron is outstanding. Now, one thing, as I mentioned before, I can't stay up for these late Lakers games. But me as a fan, I've been hurting myself, and I can't deal with the Sports Center and Bleacher Report updates anymore. I was watching that game, and when they played the Spurs, you know, he exploded for 42 points. And it was kind of slow. It was kind of slow. Next thing you know, I'm getting all these, alerts. LeBron drops 19 in the fourth, ends with this. I'm like, dang, like I was up. I should have just kept on watching, but I wasn't really, I wasn't really into it. But now I think about it, I'm like, that was LeBron. Like, of course, you should be into it. But at the end of the day, with that being said, I'm not going to get into it right now. I got a whole separate podcast that I'm going to dedicate to it. But LeBron is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I know the older generation don't want to hear it. They only look at Mike, whatever. I get it. I understand. But in the future, I will definitely have a whole show from top to bottom about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, side by side. We can even mix in Kobe in there if you want, because, they're all greats. But at the end of the day, best all-around player, we talking LeBron James for sure. Switching sides a little bit, I can't do a show without talking my Sixers. So this week they played against the Toronto Raptors. I was very excited about them playing against the Raptors, as I mentioned last week. I wanted to see where they could stand against, one of the top teams in the NBA and the top team in the NBA, the team that they could, see in the future if we ever want to be championship ready. And, speaking of ready, not quite there yet. Jimmy Butler played outstanding and JJ Redick played outstanding. That's about it. We only got 8 points from Ben Simmons and I believe about 14 points from Joel Embiid. But before I talk about how those players performed, I will admit Toronto's defense, they had a game plan from the jump. And the plan was to stop Joel Embiid. They weren't really worried about anyone else. Ben Simmons, his rebounds, his assists, and everything were still fine. They let Jimmy Butler do what he wanted to do. But to take out the Sixers, and Toronto Raptors clearly did their homework. They took out Joel Embiid. He was not a factor. And he's actually played all games this season. And he's definitely top 10, 15 in minutes amongst players in the league. So this is something we're not used to seeing from Joel Embiid. The first season we had him, played about 33 games. Last year, played about 50, 60 games. He's progressing. He's progressing. I love it. It's great to see. But you can tell he's starting to get a little bit tired from the wear and tear from this NBA game. So who knows? Maybe a day off is coming soon. But look, at the end of the day, he's still very young. One thing I did notice about that game is I felt like we were in it the entire game. I mean, it was back and forth against the Raptors. But once that fourth quarter hit, it happens. The Sixers tend to show their youth because at the end of the day, they're still a very young team, and it showed. Bunch of turnovers, left and right, bad decisions, you name it. Now, speaking of decisions, unpopular opinion, I'm not really a fan of JJ Redick's shot selection. Look, he's a great shooter, but sometimes he just doesn't have enough space, and he just jacks them. I get it. He's got the green light. Do your thing, bro. We appreciate it. You knock it down. This highest points you've averaged in your career, which is 18 a game. He's a sharp shooter. So you know what JJ Redick is going to do for you. So I'm very excited to have him on the team and to continue to uplift the youth, just like Jimmy Butler. But I'm not worried. These are all growing pains. We're going to learn from these. These are all building blocks. We're going to learn from these. Brett Brown is going to learn from these. Ben's going to learn from these. Joel's going to learn from these. As I've mentioned in the past, Joel, he just has to learn how to identify the double team. Once he gets focused on the move that he's going to make, he tends to just, go all for it. But you got to recognize the double team because if someone's on you, that means someone's open. So it takes time with the development, and they got it. Trust me. Moving forward, NFL. I always end with my Eagles, man, because we're in the middle of the season. Fighting every game's a big game. We gotta fight. We gotta do our thing. It's playoffs now. Playoffs is now because it's legit win or go home. Right now we're sitting at 6-6. We got Dallas on Sunday, who are 7-5, leading the division. This is definitely a must-win game. Now, this past Monday we played against the Washington Redskins. One thing I noticed about my Birds, and I appreciate it, is we're back to balanced offense. I don't know how long it's going to last. We're on a 2-game win streak, and we're finally getting some momentum, which is something that we need. And we haven't put together 2 straight wins at all this season. So keep it up, Birds. I love how we were staying with the running game, passing game. And look, I tip my hat off to the offensive line this week. They definitely helped out Carson, gave him a little bit more time than, he hasn't seen all year, so I'm very excited about that. But the run game was great. It was good to have Darren Sproles back. There were still some, ticky-tack mistakes there, but you know what? We can do this. Like, we have the momentum. Now, we got Dallas this week. Like I said, this is a big game. Now, I wanted to talk about the type of games that we have left and the games that Dallas have left. And it's tough. I mean, we got to win it all. So I'm glad we're finally hitting our stride. So as far as us, after Dallas, and I don't want to overlook Dallas because we have to win. Like I said, playoff game. But after Dallas, we got the Houston Texans, who are 9-3. They lead their division. Then we're also away in Los Angeles against the Rams, which is the best team in the NFL. They're also 11-1 at the moment. That's definitely going to be a tough game. And then our final game of the season is at Washington. We got the Redskins again, who are currently sitting at 6-6, and they are on the hunt. These are teams that essentially have something to fight for. So those are not going to be easy games whatsoever. Now, on the Cowboys side of things, they have the Bucks, who are 5-7. They don't even know what they're doing at quarterback. So I think that's going to be an easy one for the Cowboys. And then they do have the Colts. Now, the Colts, they're in the hunt over in the AFC. Andrew Luck has been playing outstanding coming off injury. I'm actually shocked at the way he's come back and returned. So this is awesome to see. I'm always one for a big comeback story. So big shouts out to Andrew Luck. And then also, they got the Giants, who are at 4-8 currently. So though I feel like the Bucks and Giants don't really have much to play for, they're probably playing for, who knows, a draft pick. So the only team I see actually giving them trouble would be the Colts. But at the end of the day, NFC East divisional games, you know how they go. So the Giants could shock the world, and who knows, Jameis Winston with all his targets, they can go wild against the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys defense is playing outstanding, as you saw they did last week against the Saints, and they look really good. They're getting some momentum as well. They're riding high, but that's about to come to an end. We need to do this. The first game against Dallas was very disappointing. It shouldn't have went down like that. We can't let that happen. We have to learn from our mistakes and move forward. Continue to ground and pound. Continue to have a balanced offense. That way, we can get Carson the ball, and we just have so many weapons, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you stack our offense on paper against Dallas's offense, or any offense that we face in a stretch, even with the Rams, we got way too many weapons to be 6-6. Golden Tate, Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz. That's just to name a few. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. I mean, it's just so many people. So we got the weapons, we got the tools. It's just up to the coaches to help these players execute, so that way we can get back into the playoffs. I don't know if Super Bowl is possible this season, but then again, you never know. It looked like the stars are starting to align again, and if it happens, it happens. So very excited. So Philadelphia Eagles all day. We got to do this against Dallas. I'm not trying to hear these Dallas fans, these fake Dallas fans that come out of nowhere, who only pop up when Dallas start winning. I haven't heard from the Dallas fans past 2 seasons. Now all of a sudden they're winning division. They popping up out the woodworks. And these Philadelphia Dallas fans, they get on my nerves the most. Never even been to Dallas a day in their lives, and they're fans from Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman days with VHS tapes. And don't even get me started on the Cowgirls. But at the end of the day, Birds got to do their thing if they want to continue to advance. So, as always, it's your boy Mark Thompson back every week, trying to be consistent. You know how it is. Life always gets in the way, but I'm here every week. Sports, like, subscribe, comment, everything. Like, we coming. Like I said, comment. Tell me what y'all want to talk about. Talk some trash. Don't text me. Talk trash. Drop it on here. You know what I'm saying? Peace. I'll see you next week.